What's up guys, Logical from Classified Studios here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this clean Zenitsu header. So links to everything I use in this header will be in the description. I'm also going to put a link to the PSD of this in the description, so if you want to be lazy and just redo the lettering, you can. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make it step by step. So first you're going to come and make a new project, 1500 by 500 pixels with a transparent background. And you're going to go ahead and place the background in which will be in the description. And so for me it brings up Camera Raw. If you want to install Camera Raw, I highly recommend it, but for this you actually don't need it. Most of the stuff you can do inside Photoshop, which I'll also show you how to do. But I'm just going to mess around with this and kind of like do the same things I do to it. Turn up the contrast a bit. It looks like it saved the last things I did, so yeah, this is about good. Just copy those settings down and you should be good. Now I'm going to size it to the play space here. That looks good. So before we get started, we're going to go into view, new guide, and I'm going to put a 50% vertical line on there and then a 50% horizontal line. These are not required. You don't have to do this. I just like to do that so I make sure everything is centered. So we got that. Now we're gonna go ahead and rasterize this background layer so we can edit it. And we're gonna go to adjustments and we're gonna turn it black and white here. Alright, that looks good. Now we're gonna wanna do another adjustment. Turn the brightness down. Where's the brightness? There it is. So we're going to turn the contrast up a little bit and we're going to turn the brightness way down to like right. Actually, we're just going to turn it all the way down. Alright, that looks good. Might should have made it a little bit brighter, but I think we're gonna roll with it. Next, you're going to place your Zenitsu render, also down in the description. We're gonna flip it horizontally, so it goes this way. And we're also gonna tilt it to the left here so that his foot is on the ground. And we're gonna make sure his foot is kind of like off the screen a little bit. So you're gonna place it like right about like this. Sorry, I got choked up there. That looks good. So next you want to go into the killer pack. I'll have the link to the YouTube video where you can download it down in the description. Highly recommend this pack anyway, it's very good. You're gonna grab that smoke that I just picked, place it in here. Control T to transform, and scale it to the whole bottom of the screen. Make sure that the layer is below. We'll move it afterwards, but you want to scale it to the whole bottom of the screen. Now don't let the whole smoke show, just kind of like a little bit up. Move it to the left a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. So something like this. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, guys. Just get some smoke down in here somewhere. You don't have to use this smoke if you don't want to. So I'm gonna make sure that layer, the Zenitsu render, is over that layer, so it kind of looks like he's on the smoke or whatever. Alright, so next I'm going to be showing you how to make the 3D lettering that you saw. Now, I 3D render the letters in an app on my phone and then transfer that file to the computer. But there's a way you can actually do it in Photoshop. I'll have that linked in the description. But for those who want to see how I do it, I'm going to go over to my phone now. So yeah, be right back.
Alright guys, now we're over on my phone. Sorry the audio's a little bit weird because it is recording directly from my phone. So you're going to want to download the app pixelab and go ahead and download the font I have linked down in the description, Breeze Personal Use. So once you open up pixelab, you're going to want to click this button down here and change the background to transparent. Come up to the little left pencil button in the top left and type in your text, your name. In this case, I'm doing logical. And we're going to come down to the bottom, click the A, go to font, check the Breeze Personal Use font. If you don't know how to download fonts into this, you're just going to download the font off the web and then click this little button, the little T with the plus on it, and find where you downloaded it to. It's usually going to be in your downloads. But if you want to make, again, you can just make this in Photoshop. I will have a link down to that in the description. So yeah, just choose the, I don't know why I didn't choose it there, the Breeze font. We're gonna size it up bigger here. Also gonna add a space into the end of that. So yeah, that looks good, I think. Then we're gonna go over here to 3D text. This is where the magic happens. And make sure it's on perspective. I'm gonna use the depth 8 on this one. You do want to have darken at 30%. The 3D rotation for X. So depending on your name, you might have to mess with the X and the Y rotation. I like about 32 for the X rotation on this, and I like to do a little bit of a Y rotation. So if we have a 32 X rotation and an 8 Y rotation, I think that looks good. So this is an important part. You're going to check that. So first off, you're going to turn the 3D off, save it, save as image. Make sure that you save it in ultra quality and the format is PNG. Both of those are very important. Go ahead and save it. I'm going to get an ad here. So yeah, let me wait for this ad to go away. Which I don't know what's taking so long. There we are. And then again, you're going to turn on the 3D. You're going to save it as image. Ultra again, make sure it's PNG, save to gallery. And it's going to have to render the image because it's a 3D render. Alright, so that's all you have to do from your phone. You're going to go ahead and email yourself those two files, the flat one and the 3D one. And then we're going to go over to Photoshop and I'm going to show you what to do with them.
Alright guys, we're back over here at on my PC. So once you have emailed yourself the text files, you're going to download them on your PC. Come over here to place. Now I have the two text files right here. I'm going to go ahead and place the 3D one first. And then size it up to scale. Okay, this part's actually very important too. You want to make sure that when you place these, they're the exact same size. So come up here to width and height when you place them. Let's try like 20% on both. See what that looks like. It's a little bit too small. 25%. 224. 4. Alright, it's a little bit bigger than the other one, I think, but it'll be fine. No, it's about the same. So yeah, make sure the width and the height are the same. So this is 23.99 and 23.99. So we're going to put that exactly where we want it. Go ahead and place it. Now you're going to want to add the same one, the flat one. Right here it is. And come up here. Enter the same exact width and height, guys. 23.99. 23.99. And then you're going to want to center it exactly on top of the other one. It's kind of hard to tell. If you have to do some zooming, do some zooming. That looks good. Yep, that's exactly on top of it. Oh. Place. Alright, so this is your top. This is my 3D layer. This is my flat layer. Alright, so now we're going to add in we're going to texture these letters because right now obviously it's just white. So you're going to come up here to your place. Choose out this little Zenitsu pattern that I'm going to put down in the description. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. We're going to put that right over your letters. And obviously it's not over right now, but it will be. So you want to size it to where it's going to look good if it was the letters. So we're going to place that there. We're going to go ahead and duplicate this layer once. Alright. Just to make things easier on you guys, I'm going to label these so you can tell what I'm doing. We're going to call this Zen pattern. Zen pattern 2. Okay, that was 3 T's. I don't care though. 3D letter and 2D letter. It should be a little bit easier to track what I'm doing over here. So we got our Zenitsu patterns. We're going to take one, drag it above the 3D letters. I'm going to take, well, for now we're just going to drag that one above the 3D letters. I'm going to make the 2D invisible for right now. And then, so you want to press Control on your keyboard and select, or left click the thumbnail for the 3D letters. That's going to select it. You can see the select that traced the 3D letters. You're going to come over here to your select tool at the top. I'm going to inverse that select and then press delete. Oops, I forgot to rasterize it, boys. I'm going to rasterize the Zen pattern. And come over here and just press delete. Why is it not deleting? That's awkward. Zen pattern. Oh, because I have the other one. Oops. There we go. So now that that's done, I want to drag the other Zenitsu pattern above the 2D letters. I'm going to go ahead and deselect here. And to go ahead and do the same thing with this one. Control, select the thumbnail to hide, to select. Go to the Zenitsu pattern that's above it. Inverse the select. Delete. Oh, I forgot to rasterize it again. That's 2 in a row. Make sure to left click. To rasterize it, you right. I probably should have said this earlier, but to rasterize it, you're going to want to right click the layer. Rasterize. Alright, so now we got our letters, right? But they're not looking very 3D. It looks kind of ugly. So you want to go ahead and hide the 2D and 3D letters. You're going to need them, So just leave them there hidden for now. And we're going to work on making this look 3D. So go ahead and add a new layer. Actually, delete that for now. I'll take this one step at a time. So first you're going to go and rasterize this. Actually, it's already been rasterized. You're going to go add an adjustment. Go to the brightness contrast. Turn this down to about -85. Just gonna enter that in. That looks good. Turn the contrast up about to 10. Just gonna enter that in. Alright, that looks good. Now we're gonna add in the new layer. We're gonna give it kind of a trace look to make it kind of like stand out, I guess. So go ahead and go to 3D letter, control, click the thumbnail to select it. Go into the new layer that you just made that we're gonna name Trace 1. Alright, so you're gonna go into edit. Oh, oops. Click on the layer, edit, and you're gonna add in a stroke. 3 pixels is what looks good on mine. You may have to adjust this. It's either going to be 2, 3, or 4 always almost. 4 is going to be a little bit thicker. If your letters are bigger, you want to go with 4. If yours are about the same as mine, you're going to go 3. If they're smaller than mine, you're going to go 2. And you make sure that it's an inside. It's going to be normally centered, but make sure it's an inside stroke. And change the color to white. So we're going to go ahead and deselect now. You can see that I have a white trace around the 3D. And we're going to go ahead and set that to overlay. As you can see, it gives it like a nice trace to the letters. Now we're going to go ahead and go to the top flat letters. Sorry, I'm getting kind of stuck here. We're going to add a layer above that. We're going to call this Trace 2. And we're going to do the exact same thing we did with the 3D part. And we're going to control, left click the thumbnail of 2D letter so that it selects it. Make sure that we're on the layer. Edit, stroke. It's going to already have your last one. You just do the same thing. Looks good. And then deselect. And then we are going to set that to overlay as well. So that looks good. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we want to kind of color correct this a little bit because it's a little bit too bright compared to the right side of the screen, in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and merge down. So you want to go to the trace above the 3D letters, merge that one down. Then you want to go to the 2D letter one and merge that one down. And then you want to go to the trace over that one and merge that one down. So now that it's all one layer and we can move it together as without having to move each individual layer. So now we're going to add an adjustment to that. So come over here to image, adjustments. We're going to add the brightness and contrast. So let's turn the brightness down a little bit. Right there. The contrast. I think the max contrast looks pretty good. So yeah, about -27, contrast to 80. Mess around with it, see what you like. I like it right there. I think it looks good. So now you can see that we're almost done with the header. I'm just going to add a little bit of lightning effect right here. So you're going to come over into your core pack. You're going to choose this lightning layer. And you're going to go ahead and drag it over into your header. And you're going to see this corner right here. You're going to line that up with the, well, actually, so if you're using a different name, which I assume you will be, you're going to want to like just find a corner or something to put a little lightning on. Or you don't have to, like, you know, it looks good without the lightning. You definitely want to add something over here just because it looks kind of empty in my opinion. And it still looks a little empty even with the lightning. So you definitely want to add something over here. But you can definitely find there's a lot of lightning in this core pack. A lot. So just find something that kind of like fits to a corner or a part of your flat side or anywhere on your letter that you think looks good. And I'm going to press Control T to transform it for mine. So I'm just going to line this little corner up with the L. That looks good to me. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm going to place that. I'm going to go to the eraser tool. So I'm going to Control Alt right click and make sure the hardness is at 0. Hardness is already at 0 on mine. And I'm just going to kind of delete. I'm just going to kind of delete the lightning that I don't want, which is pretty much everywhere but that little corner. Boom. Make sure you kind of like go over the lettering because the lightning has a lot of like lighting with it. So that looks good. And now I'm gonna go to edit, actually image. We're gonna adjust it and we're going to for the hue saturation, and we're gonna turn this a yellow lightning or an orangish lightning to match Zenitsu. And so yeah, I go up, turn the hue all the way down and saturation very slightly down. You don't want to mess with this too much or it's going to make it look too dull. And that's it. Oh, actually one more thing. You're going to add one more layer. This is optional. I just, for some reason, I always do this to my headers. I think it makes it like pop out a little bit more. So you make sure the layer is over everything. You're going to select all and do a stroke of 4, an inside stroke of 4. It's also white. And then I'm going to go over here to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. About 6.6 looks good. And then I'm going to set that to overlay. Can't really tell much, it just kind of makes the edges pop. And yeah, that's it. Again, the link to the PSD, if you don't want to make this yourself, you just want to make the lettering via either your phone or the YouTube link in the description, then you can just do that and then not have to deal with all the background, SMO, Zenitsu header and all that, even though it's really easy. It's a really simple header. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and if you liked it, put a thumbs up.